All right, we are all audio live.
Oh.
Ooh. Party
Mhm.
don't stop.
I love my players. Anyways, hi, this is session 0 of our Curse of Strahd campaign. I'm Sif, Night VTuber. Uh, this is a very low quality production campaign because we just want to have fun, but we also know some people like seeing us gay RP. So, yeah, you can thank us for all the gayness later when it happens, but yeah.
We also like seeing us gay RP, so
That's
this
true.
is also
It's
for our
true.
sake, so we can
We-
always
Yeah.
look back.
We're
Mhm.
really the big ones who want to see this.
Accurate.
So, as our main patrons for our own content, let's introduce ourselves, starting from the left on my sheet. Hobbs, if you'd like to say your name and player and character and all that stuff.
Okay. Hey everyone. My name is Obsidia. I'm gonna be playing Ravenia Dunaray. Oh, sorry, Lady Ravenia Dunaray. I can't forget her title. Who is a very special elf girl sorceress with a bit of an addiction for magic, and I'm really excited to be a fancy little bean.
That's our fancy little bean. Anyways, next up, Lily. Please introduce your very wet girl.
Hey, yo!
I meant that like the
yo.
sopping wet
No.
kind of way, guys. What the
I'm glad
fuck?
we're like 5 minutes in. We're already going there.
We're
That's
going
off to
there.
a really good start.
Get your
Yeah.
fish girl out here, come on.
She's a water ganassi. Anyways, hello. This is really how Callan is starting. My name is Lily, and I'm very excited to be here with our fellow gay beans to do gay shit here. I am playing Callan, who is a Pact of the Blade, genie warlock water ganassi. If I didn't say that already in this current state and sentence, but just excited to kind of play some more traumatized beans and hopefully get into cute shenanigans and gay shenanigans and traumatic shenanigans as per the course.
Moist. Okay, I got that out of my system. Alright. Yulia, you next, please.
Yeah, of course. Well, hi, everyone. It's so good to be back. Yeah, I'm Yulia, Royal Knight VT, and I am playing Warwick, the half-orc paladin Oath of Devotion. So excited to be able to play a paladin, excited to dive into half-orcs, and excited for all the himboness that will ensue, most likely. And also the gay, so it's a good time. We're here to have such a good time. I'm excited.
Big gay time. Literally, status is BRB men kissing.
It's important to let people know while I'm away.
Speaking of men making out, Maris.
Yeah, that's me, the other man making out. So I'm Maris. And I am playing Jericho, the sad dad cowboy dilf with Catholic guilt. It's a great time. He is also a paladin, but Oath of Vengeance. So drama, intrigue. Can't wait for gay men kissing.
There's gonna be I should have added this in the disclaimer. There's a lot of kissing in this group, RP wise. So I hope you enjoy that, whoever you are.
We've already
Just-
pre-planned all the kissing, so
Yeah.
I just
yeah.
want to note while we have gay men kissing from Yulia, I switched mine to say Toxic Fury Save Me. So there's your preview.
There we go.
incredible.
Equal opportunity.
Yep.
We're all about our representation here. Anyways, so we're gonna go ahead and get into our plot hooks. The neat thing about Curse of Strahd being your plot hooks are tied to a card reading, which, according to Wizards of the Coast, is a solitaire card reading, which sucks ass because I'm not breaking playing cards out. So we will be doing a tarot card reading. Now, for each of your hooks, I was debating, and I'd like your guys' thoughts on this. Would you like to do them private with me one-on-one in the separate private DM room voice chat? Or would you be fine with like people deafened around you or people listening in and then not acknowledging whatever they hear?
I'm pretty confident in our abilities to not metagame, so I'm also really nebby and really nosy and really curious. So I'm down to be the fly on the wall for everyone else.
Mm-hmm. So it
Yeah.
sounds like we'll be doing in this
Mhm.
voice chat all together.
Yeah, I trust everybody here to not metagame it, and I love giving people tidbits and having them not understand what it means in the
Dramatic
speculation.
irony.
Yeah, it's fun, so I'm all for that.
Okay. Then if there are no other qualms, does anyone have any questions before we get started with this? Any takes, anything they'd like to share before I start dragging you one by one? All right. Do we have any volunteers? Otherwise, I'm gonna roll a 1d4 and we're gonna find out.
Yeah, take me.
Oh, okay.
Hey yo.
Hey, yo.
Hey, yo.
Use
Hey,
me.
yo.
Pick me.
I didn't
It's
mean it
okay,
like
Lily.
that.
We can't escape it. Goddamn. All right, everyone, mute up. Everyone, mute up. Okay. Helen, you have just returned from a surprisingly shorter than usual campaign. You and your I should probably set up the setting itself first. Actually, yeah. Actually, you know what? You wrote this shit. You wanna tell people about the kind of world Callan is
Oh
from?
yeah, sure, I can. So Callan is from the Spelljammers setting. So for those of you that don't know what that is essentially like a soft sci-fi, like future sci-fi setting in the D&D universe, multiverse, whatever you want to call it. But essentially it's where you have like Victorian and crazy ass like spaceships that go flying through the galaxy. So Callan is from that universe, but specifically is from a smaller sect of that, like the section of the Astral Sea that is home to a basically like colony, is putting it lightly, but a very large colony of different forms of Ganassi that all lead up to the primal master Jin. So they are just kind of like a group of people that are all amongst themselves. Their element is their religion and all sorts of good stuff. And I think if you want to take it from here for the rest of the setting in terms of what we do here.
So, I believe you mentioned your war god, your primal genie god, and how your citadel, your people, float around in the Spelljammers world, going around and picking fights with the enemies of state. We know nothing about them, we don't understand their culture or identities, but they are our enemies. And so, oftentimes, without anything more than an objective, you and your fellow Ganassi warriors go out into battle, conquering lands for the resources, so that our people may continue to grow and reign in the stars above. As such, you guys are returning from one such campaign, rather shorter than usual. It was a small station run by GIF, GIFF for those at home, not Lae'zel from Baldur's Gate. I'm talking about the hippo people with the British hippo people with guns. And for some particular reason, your war god, your primal genie god, has decided to turn this short farce of a campaign into a celebration. Completely unroutine. You and your other fellow super soldiers have been tasked to march with the parade in the most garish of colors, draped in as you walk through the streets, you are draped and covered with confetti, streamers, sparkle, glitter, what have you. It's a rather strange change of pace, and the excitement is infectious. Your fellow kin, who are normally quite tact and quite disciplined, are quickly losing themselves to the atmosphere of the parade. And today, go ahead.
I was going to jump in. I was like, Callan, while kind of like looking around at this, there's noticeable just like bags under her eyes, very much like these people about this whole ordeal, just kind of like, going through the ceremony, but just overall not really into the celebration of it, besides doing a soft wave and a faint smile.
Doing your best charade of a happy little soldier to the thousands of smiling faces who very clearly don't understand the gravity it is of what you and your kin do. Thankfully, however, the parade is rather short as the festivities must start. Your god is rather interested in the more fun parts of their life. And as such, as a rare reward, actually, this is very, like, once in a blue moon, maybe, you and your kin are given free reign. You aren't trapped to your sector, you aren't told to go directly home, but you are given the space to move about the city, enjoy yourselves, and then return back to your barracks for the night at the usual time. So, now that you've been given that freedom, and now that you are out of the big parading streets, where is it that you'd like to go?
I think even though, she has been given free reign, she would choose to kind of just take a bit of a long walk home through, like, whatever park equivalent there is, and just kind of take a breather, get away from the noise of it all, as there's assuredly a large celebration follow-up of the parade. Just getting as far away from it as possible and just kind of taking a deep breath, but honestly heading right back home to take her time and just kind of sit down, enjoy the quiet, and do some writing, do some reading, and all that stuff.
I got it. So, thankfully, unfortunately, actually, the sector where the water Ganassi are is directly south of the parade. So as you get away from the noise, you go north and north up to where the very small Wind Ganassi sector is, where there's a lovely, luscious park. It's nice and quiet. A lot of the older civilians are there, relaxing, playing chess, and such. When something catches your eye, you see a small, hooded figure stumbling around like a lost child, looking scared and confused.
Callan would kind of immediately go to grab her hilt, which is currently not active, and just start to twirl it around her fingers. But as she clocks this presence, immediately enters in like full work mode, and just casually but not casually, begins to walk over to this hooded figure, ready to kind of see if she can corner them into an alleyway to figure out who they are. There's not often weird stuff happening on her home.
I mean, strange enough, the hood itself draws your attention. This is not the usual fashion of your citadel. It is these like bright orange reddish cloak wrapped in these white and dark blue scarves. There's some glittering jewelry, but overall what's most surprising to you about this is this outfit looks far too large for this child or small creature. And thankfully you don't have to corner it. Small creatures have shorter legs, and you can easily catch it by the water fountain.
My 6 foot tall legs just kind of way outpace even at a leisurely walk.
This small creature is sort of like hiding behind the fountain, looking at you expectantly.
Excuse me, is there anything that I can help you with?
I'm a little lost.
Well, here, let me get a closer look at you. What sector are you from?
I don't know what a sector is, but I know where my like home is. My tent.
She is still actively twirling her hilt, still on edge about this. But let's see if we can get you to someone that does know. Can you give me a little bit of a description of exactly what is going on so that I can have a better idea?
I kind of know the way home. I'm just scared to make the walk myself is far. And then she sort of like pulls out this map from under the cloak. I imagine you do like the Cop King thing where like whenever someone reaches into their pocket, you get ready to like draw.
Yeah, she tenses. While it's spinning through her fingers, she quickly tenses and grabs it real quick, just ready to go, just in case.
And you see a very childishly drawn map where there's like a circle where we are right now in the park, and some dashes leading into the western sector where the Fire Ganassi soldiers stay. like not like where like the military aspect is, but like in the residential area where like the Fire Ganassi families claim home.
Well, by all means, I suppose. And she does a quick look around to see if there's any more civilian handling officials that would be able to help her. Assume there is not.
There is not. Everyone else,
they're busy. They're having fun.
they're enjoying themselves. It's all you up here. If an old man was to have a heart attack in this park, you were the only one that would be able to like respond in time.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I want to get back home. I need to get back for my big brother.
Your big brother. Well, and can I take a closer look? Is just from a glance, is this person a Ganassi?
You see through the cloak. I will have art to show later when we get to a certain point, but you see darkish skins with sort of like these reddish brown markings. It's, as far as you can tell, this person could be human or an elf or a halfling. It's really hard to tell. I mean, it's really hard to tell with any child version of a race, but it's not a Ganassi. No elemental magic.
Are you... You said you want to get home, but I don't take it that you're from around here, judging by appearances as they might be.
Nuh-uh. I came for a really important task. Could you, if we get back, could you help me with it?
She does another look around, just really doesn't want to deal with this right now. But sees that there is no one else to take care of this burden, just says, I cannot want me to do this. Okay. Yes, by all means, please, I will be glad to help you get home.
She reaches up for your hand and says pinky.
No, Pinky.
I don't want to get lost.
Do you know who I am?
Important?
Yes, important, yes.
Important people help people, right?
God damn it.
That's a bad word.
Darling, if you knew the power of the Master Jin, you would not be worried about a simple god. But either way, she'll not grab the pinky, but just grab the hand.
Oh no, she was asking for your pinky to wrap her hand around.
Oh, I know.
Oh, okay.
You
put her hand in this like awkward like grab, like you're like
just full grab and like yank along position.
And then she starts to take the lead as, strange as it is, she does know the way back with her map. And even more strangely, she's very accustomed to these districts. Like, you are well aware of the routes in this city because you've lived here your whole life. But naturally, obviously, you're not going to be accustomed to like the Earth Ganassi sector because you don't live there, right? It's like how you live in a state, but you only really know one city. And as you enter the Fire Ganassi area, somewhere you're more familiar with, her pathing sort of like slows down as you linger at certain points. A familiar statue you stop by with a friend. A ramen store where you and someone else had late night meals, skipping deadline for going to bed. Lingering on the sites of the city where you had to wait for someone by yourself, knowing they wouldn't come. And as you're pondering on why you would linger at such spots, the walk is already almost over as she leads you to a small tented area between two buildings. She looks up at you. Thank you. Do you want to come inside?
You live in here?
Mm-hmm. It's really big on the inside. You want to see?
I mean, but why would you live in here? Why? You don't even. Why? You don't even belong here. But.
Do you?
Being awfully philosophical for a 4-year-old.
Or I could just be asking questions I don't know the answer to. Come on. I'll make you some tea. And, do you enter the tent with her?
She does literally another turn around to like see if there's if there's still no more officials just really trying to get out of this situation. She just wants to go home.
You see fireworks in the distance. You are missing Fire Festival 20XX right now.
Just I don't exactly know how good at brewing tea a child could be, but by all means, I suppose I have nothing better to do this evening.
Don't worry, I have lots of time to practice. And with that, I would like to move you all to a little tent map that everyone should be able to see. Please place yourself anywhere you see fit, Lily.
I do not see a map.
I am gonna screech. It says I moved you guys here.
Hold on. Let me
I can
refresh
see
my
it.
roll 20.
Yeah, you're the problem.
I am the problem.
Yeah, you're giving this kid such shit, and look at you.
Disheveled, unprofessional. I don't know.
I'm not gaslighting you.
I don't know why this character has a health bar. Hold on.
Okay. Yep. I can see it now. I will drag myself
Can you guys see the name?
onto the. I don't think so.
Okay, God bless. All right. That shot that popped up on the recording. If you saw it at home, no, you didn't.
Where's the entrance to the tent?
That would be right here. This little green rug
Okay.
area.
So she would probably just be like kind of positioned like here, just kind of keeping a distance. The hilt still in her hand.
I am going to shift Z on this token so that everyone can see the art. That's not correct. It should be showing the full art, but yeah, that's a rough sketch for now until I sort things out. But yeah, despite finally being back home in her abode, you guys are. She still refuses to take her hood down. What she doesn't refuse to, however, is to hand you a lovely cup of tea. I say lovely here because despite the ramshackle nature of all of these like otherworldly rugs and torn fabrics torn everywhere, the cup itself does look really nice. It's this like darkish silver with red embroidery, and inside is some kind of very light jasmine tea. And she sits at the table, beckoning you to sit from across from her.
Callan will go and kind of sit down slowly. He's going to quickly summon and drop a little bit of water into the tea to see if it has a reaction.
The tea gets lighter because you diluted
Diluted.
the tea.
Yeah. But just trying to double check everything. Very paranoid. And is going to, but will kind of take the lightest sip at first, and then once checked out that, will then proceed to put the glass up to her face like she is drinking it, but will keep her lips closed for now just to see if it has any further reaction, and then finally take the faintest sip you could possibly imagine.
Nothing happens. It is quite simply a cup of tea. There is something that goes off. I will say off of your passive investigation in Arcana. Take a look at the stat breakdown. Yeah, off of this, you absolutely know that there's nothing wrong with this. It's just regular tea. It might have been nice, but you added some water to it.
Can't be too safe.
She has been shooting you a weird look. Like, you can't see her eyes, but you can tell from the way her mouth and body moves that she's been kind of weirded out by you just adding water to her tea.
Just taking precautions, my dear.
You're awfully cautious, miss.
Why do you think I'm still alive?
Well, I mean, you didn't do it alone, right?
What makes you say that?
I mean, I'm not here because I'm alone. I'm here because I've got a big brother to take care of. Two, actually. But you 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 seem lonely. Do you want to fix that?
Kalina is like so paranoid of this child seeming to know more than they should. I'm not lonely. I'm just busy. There's a difference.
Well, one thing's a feeling, the other thing's a distraction. But ooh, speaking of distraction, I actually have that task. If you want to keep busy, we can do it. It's have you ever heard of tarot cards? I don't know if they're legal in this city.
If you are peddling illegal wares, then I would have to report you to the authorities. You do know that, right?
Yeah, so you can take a look to see if this is okay or not, and then she slides a deck, like, she can't really slide the deck across, but as she puts the deck of cards on the table, they sort of magically slide across the table towards you to inspect.
Darling, they're not illegal.
Do you want to check it?
Do I? Sure, I'll take a look.
You can tell what I wanna do, right?
To be honest, I have no idea what it is that you're trying to do here, but seeing as I am your faithful servant of the people tonight, I will happily indulge with whatever it is that you're trying to pull.
Oh, don't worry, I'm no charlatan. Just give the cards a look-see so you can tell that I'm not gonna do any tricky readings. And you
She does.
look through the cards, you see, like, 8 of intelligence, you see 7 of intelligence. There's a lot of intelligence cards at the top, what the fuck? The 9 of strength. And then you flip the sun card, which typically depicts a sun with a face, but as you look at it and you see the ever-shifting colors, you see a very familiar smiling man. And warm, radiant, and then you blink, and it's just a card.
She would drop the card.
Oh, I'm sorry. She claps her hands on the deck, whatever cards you pulled out, slide back into the deck, and then slide all the way back to her. I didn't know. I didn't mean to bring up any bad memories.
Yet somehow you seem to have an inkling of them all the same.
It's only an inkling. I only know what the cards foretell. And I'd like to foretell something for you. To help you. Do you believe in growth, Callum? You haven't told this kid your name the whole time, right? Oh no, you told her at the start, right?
I don't know if I have. I don't think so. I just asked if they knew who I was.
Yeah, and she said,
Do I believe in growth? Well, yes, you can always grow and get stronger in some way, shape, or form, but overall, still need to means to an end in order to satisfy the will.
Whose will, though?
The Master Jin, of course.
Is that all your lives were worth? There was nothing more behind these walls? Nothing more you could grow to see?
I mean, we're helping people. Liberating them from their oppressors.
But
It's quite simple.
is it? I mean, when I was walking through the city, we saw firefighters, we saw smaller guards who may not have been as strong as you, but they still helped others, but they didn't seem so broken up about it. Like they had
I'm
some
not
good return.
broken up about it.
I can
I
count
take my
the-
job very seriously.
I can count the bags under your eyes.
4 hours is plenty.
Listen, If you've been seeing someone or something where you've been looking, it's not because I want you to. It's because you're still not done with it. And I would like to give you a future, a reading. Maybe you could figure out some way to get your own answer for whatever happened. That's my task. I just want to help.
She sits there and contemplates it for a while. Takes a deep breath and just says, "Fine, you who know me so well. Please, help me in whatever way you think."
Oh, my help won't solve anything. Whatever decisions you make, whatever outcomes happen as a result, that'll be all your hard work. All I can do is help you keep an eye out for things. And we are going to start with our first Path Through Adversity reading. It is 3 tarot cards. I'm going to shuffle the deck a little bit.
I just want to say, while we're doing this, I have no idea how tarot works, so
And we're
whatever. Yeah.
we're all about to find out. So she's finished shuffling the deck and asks you to flip the first card, which you can't do because
We're a little far away from each other, IRL, but yes, she would be very much committed to fulfilling the role of whatever this may be.
I think for this, I'm going to go ahead and use the simulated tarot I have because this will take too long if I'm using a tarot deck I'm not familiar with.
Hmm.
Okay. First card in a Path Through Adversity reading. And let me get my notes so I can type this. First card is Death. It is
Jesus!
your goal. Death doesn't represent your physical end, Callan. It's an ending. The end of a cycle, the beginning of another. Transformation, change. When the caterpillar grows up, you read the book about the hungry caterpillar, right?
More or less.
He stopped being a caterpillar and turned into a butterfly. Butterflies are really pretty and nice, and I think you should keep an eye out for them, but if this example is anything to go by. But the butterfly is the start of a new cycle. The caterpillar didn't die, it just became something more. Does that make sense?
It does. I understand what you're going for here.
Mm-hmm. Now your second card is the adversity. The devil. Addiction, temptation, deception. Something fails you. Something that you depend upon is unstable. Something that isn't true sustenance for you. Physical, mental, emotional, is something you shouldn't rely on. Do your best to make sure you aren't tempted. Do your best to make sure you don't end up giving up on anything that really matters. Finally, the path through. This card is the answer. The justice inverted. The justice card usually stands for fairness, truth, punishment. But its inverted meaning is a failure to take responsibility. But this is your path through. Maybe when you know you have to make a decision, you'll make the one that's better for you, not what's better for someone else. Does that make you feel any better about anything? I'm sorry, you're my first one for the night.
No, you're fine. It's more of. I must admit, you gave me quite a shock by leading off whatever this reading is with death. But. I may not understand what it is your words mean, but I think somewhere. Well, we'll see what comes of them.
Well, now, I'm happy that this hopefully helped you in some way, ma'am, but, before you go, I should give you this. And she gets up and pulls out a little flyer. It's written in a language you can't entirely make out, but some things are certainly very clear. There's a time, there's a location, and there are smiling faces. You shouldn't feel the need to go, but it would mean a lot to me if you went here. You can read it, right? The time, the location, the smiles.
Well, I think so. Might have to move a few things around, but
You'll have plenty of free time coming soon. Your god won't order a campaign for quite some time.
what makes you be able to understand that?
The cards. They answer a lot of questions.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that I trust the Master Jin more than I trust your cards.
The cards aren't ordering. They just know. Now, thank you for walking me home, but you need some rest. Take a full night's rest tonight. I think everyone, including your CO, will be partying well past whatever time you should be sleeping.
Well, then I should go home.
Mm-hmm. Thank you again for the walk, and stay safe on your travels.
You're certainly a strange child, but if I ever come back to the fire district and I find you peddling anything that is not legal, you know what will happen.
Mm-hmm. I'll look forward to seeing you two again, ma'am. Do you step out of the tent?
She would.
Step out, take a few steps. Suddenly the air feels different. Felt warmer. Like warmer than usual in the fire district inside that tent. But as the cold air hits you, and you turn back around, there is nothing but an empty alley, with the only proof of your interaction being that flyer she gave you. Any final thoughts before we let you go?
She would probably just say to herself, something is odd. Should get the inspectors over here to check it out. Matter for tomorrow. I'm sure they're busy. Busy goofing off.
You walk off, headed home to hopefully a little more than 4 hours of fucking sleep. Alright. That's Callan. Who's next? Any other volunteers? Anybody else want me to take them? You guys can unmute. Yeah. Would anyone else want their hook now, or should I roll the dice?
Roll the dice. Let's see what
Oh
happens.
gosh.
Awfully fucking
Roll the
quiet in
dreaded
this room.
D3.
God, I got terrified. I thought
Roll
I was
that D3.
Oh my god. Alright. 1d3. Alright. Our sacrifice of the day is Warwick. Alright.
Whoa.
We love
Everyone-
to see it.
Everyone else mute. Thank you, big man. Alright. Yulia,
Yeah, hello.
you want to tell us a little bit about where Warwick's from?
Sure. So Warwick is actually from a pretty high fantasy setting, a little familiar to some. He is from the Republic of Taldore, specifically more so in the Cliff Keep Mountains. Oop, I can say that correctly. So Pretty isolated, pretty, I mean, beautiful overall, mountain spacious. Yeah, that's kind of where he's at.
Yeah. You've been traveling for quite some time by yourself now, right? You'd say?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a long time since you've had really, well, anyone to keep you company. Thankfully, it's spring. The weather's nice, albeit a bit of pollen. As you travel down the dirt road, going from one side of the mountain to another, as you're moving from your last town rather quickly, you come across a really strange sight. You see this tent being erected on the side of the road. There's nothing for miles, just maybe plains of grass, maybe a cornfield like miles from here that you can maybe see. But in the middle of this dirt road, set up on the side, is this large, ornate tent being set up. Normally you'd see this at like rest stops or at like right outside towns for refugees, but out here in the middle of nowhere in the middle of the day, it's usually strange. Nighttime, you'd be camping. Daytime, you'd be looking real weird. Any initial reactions?
It's definitely a surprise. So Work will kind of look around, make sure that no one else is around, and kind of approach with the little bit of pep in his step, a little bit of curiosity. He won't initially poke his head inside, but he's definitely going to cup his hands over his mouth and be like, "Hello? Is anybody here?"
You hear a loud thunk as you look around the corner of a cart. You see this hobbled figure, draped in red robe and this dark blue finery, some nice golden tassels and jewelry. You see what is very clearly the appearance of an older woman, like a really older woman, like an insanely old woman. You can see her wrinkly hands coming out from underneath the cloak, struggling to lift this mallet to hammer in this last peg. She's like struggling the whole time, trying to lift it up, thunking over and over again. She has not caught your attention.
Hey, hold on a second, Grandma. And Orc is gonna quickly walk over. Are you sure you should be lifting that? Is your back gonna be okay?
Oh, hey, Sonny. I mean, I can't fuck up my back any more than I already have. Hey, just, if you're here for a reading, sweetie, just hang on. I'm gonna hammer in this last 10 peg.
Okay. Oh, okay. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. And he's gonna look around. Is there like boxes or crates nearby?
There are like some on the cart, but they're empty from the looks of it. Maybe there is one shiny chest with the lock unlocked on it. It's kind of ajar, but you can tell there's something shiny in it.
Okay, so he'll go over to it, and instead of opening it, he'll shut it close and shove it in her direction so that it's directly behind her. Be like, okay, hold on a second. And without warning, he's just going to pick her up by the waist and just lift her up and set her on top of it.
Whoa, you're awfully handsy for a stranger. That's not the kind of services I provide in this time. I haven't blown my back out like that in years, sir. Please.
Wait.
Can I help you?
I was actually trying to help you. You look like you need a hand with something. Need some help hammering something out?
Sure. You know what? You look awfully tall. She's like finally looking up at you. Huh. How about you you give it a try. You seem like you'd be good at this pegging thing.
Did a lot of things before. I mean, tents, houses, some refugee homes, tons of things. So you can leave the pegging to me.
Okay, I'll leave it to you. Ham in those last couple of pegs, and I'll give you some. You like biscuits? I got some biscuits and tea, and
I can give you a tarot reading for free. You know what a tarot is?
Never heard of it, but sounds interesting. So, but I'll take the biscuits first.
Mm-hmm. You get the pegging. I'll get to boiling some tea.
I got you, Granny.
Mm-hmm. And some time can pass as you peg the tent down. The fuck? As you peg the tent down and set it up. And
No.
yep, afterwards you can go right on into the tent. Place yourself on the map. You see it, right?
I do, yes.
Yes, so feel free to place yourself onto the map where she has been stirring the same cup for a while now, waiting for you.
No?
Mm-hmm. Oh, feel free to take a seat anyway, Dewey. I'm just gonna... And she, like, picks up the tray and hobbles over to you and sets it in front of you. And there's, like, these assorted cakes and these really fancy-looking biscuits. Like, the Danish butter cookies, you know, the ones in the blue tin that are either sewing supplies or the cookies.
Oh, it's a mystery.
Yeah, mm-hmm. It's the good... It's the cookies, though, for sure. It's the cookies.
Okay. Good, because I was gonna be a little upset if there was something sharp in there.
She is not feeding you the needles, do not worry.
These smell delicious, Granny. Oh my goodness.
Thank you. They are not fresh. I ripped them out of a bag, so I hope you like them. The tea is though. I did do that myself.
Okay, because I'm actually starving, so I do appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'd be
he's just
starving too
appealing-
after all that pegging. By all means, enjoy yourself. I'm gonna get my cards ready for your tarot reading.
Yeah, but wait, why are you out here by yourself anyway?
I go where the cards tell me to, sweetie. The cards tell me where to go, who to talk to, what future lies in wait.
Wait, you're saying cards? Like little paper things?
Yeah, do you want to see one? And she just hands you the deck while she's like right next to you.
He kind of squints and kind of folds through him a little bit. Just looks like a bunch of drawings to me.
Yeah, but they're really pretty. They tell us many things. And then she starts, like, out of nowhere, doing these card tricks to, like, entertain you. Like, the cards flip between her and stuff. You see flashes of the chariot, strength, of these wonderfully colorful images of these icons. Until finally she messes up and one of the cards flings out in front of you. And you see a card simply titled The Hierophant. And on it is a picture of an old man tending to this overgrown garden. And then she picks it up from you immediately. It's, oh, I'm so sorry about that, sweetie. It's been a while, you know? Got a little bit of arthritis in these knuckles.
Oh. Right. Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine what that feels like, but those cards, are they magic of some kind?
Depending. I always see the same images, but when certain people read them, they see different ones. Makes them all scared and stuff. The cards just know. They never want to scare, they never want to order, and they never want to make you angry. They just tell. You've got an awfully kind soul about you, boy.
Thanks. I mean, I do what I can, really. Just trying to spread the kindness around. It doesn't come by often, so gotta make the most of it, right?
Yeah, but kindness isn't really something you do by yourself, right? I mean, somebody had to help make you into who you are. Somebody had to grow that little god in your heart into its beautiful self. Is that person still around? You are traveling alone, and I think it's pretty dangerous to travel alone here.
I mean, have you seen me?
Have
People
you?
aren't exactly. He kind of looks down at himself, like, yeah. I mean, I haven't looked in a mirror in a while. I
The
Am I a little dirty? Am I okay?
the t-shirt she gave you is rather reflective if you want to take a look.
He'll kind of do a quick glance down.
It's an exceptionally reflective tray. You see the different hues of green on your face, in your hair. You notice the way the scars trail up your body. But every time you take a look at them, they always seem to twirl up in a different way. And then finally you notice your eyes, which, despite everything being so clear, seems so insanely out of focus in this mirror. No matter where you place your reflection, you just can't get a clear look on who's staring back. It's a dangerous... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, he'll just kind of bring his hand to it and just kind of try rubbing against it to see if it comes out a little bit clearer.
It's more smudged than it was before. The world's a dangerous place to be lonely.
Not exactly lonely. I know you mentioned someone before. They're not around anymore, but I mean, I have lots of people I come in contact with every day, yourself included.
Have you ever gardened before, sweetie? I do it. That's where I get my tea leaves from. It's a lot of work. It's really difficult to do alone. Sometimes you don't know the right kind of fertilizer. Sometimes you don't know how to treat the plants right. Sometimes you need someone to help you prune them. And sometimes it can be too much for you to handle alone. You've got a lovely garden in that chest of yours, kiddo, but it isn't expecting yourself to handle it all on your own. Well, you've seen dead lands before. You know what happens when land gets razed, when farms are torn down, when people raid and take and pillage. What happens to the grass and the plants that they leave behind? It's too much, right?
Yeah, it's pretty messed up, but I mean, I may not look it, but I'm a bit of a gardener myself, or at least in the making. I've been planting a lot of stuff as I go.
Then how about this? We'll do a path through adversity reading, and I'll figure out what you have to look out for so that you can garden the best you can, okay? Just focus on that garden in your head and under your feet. And she starts shuffling the cards.
Hey, but I'll get more biscuits after this, right?
You can keep eating the biscuits. They're not going anywhere, sweetie. You just have to, if you start choking on my readings, though, I'm not taking responsibility.
Promise, Granny.
Okay, big man. Snaps her fingers and the tea kettle refills your cup as you're talking. The deck is shuffled, and she magically slides it towards you. Common parlor trick in Tal'Dorei, it's no biggie. Flip the first card. As you do, the first card that is flipped, your goal, as it were, is the Two of Pentacles inverted. Now, people don't really know the minor arcana that much. That's fine theory, don't worry about it. They ain't that important. They're not part of the big show. A Two of Pentacles inverted. Well, Two of Pentacles normally means balance and adaptability. About staying on course and making sure you're roughly spread all throughout and prioritizing the right things. That's what it normally means. But this one's inverted. You know what inverted means? Your head doesn't look so big, so I just want to make sure.
Oh, yeah, I totally know what it means. But if you want to say it, I mean, I can quiz you.
Okay, well, just to make sure I'm all right with this. So an inversion is when, like, something is, like, the opposite, when it's flipped, you know? Sorry, I'm making my notes here. So it's the opposite, you know? instead of your goal being balance, you're looking for an imperfect balance. Your goals, your prioritizations are flexible, flowing. You're not spreading yourself thin, doing too much, whether it be all that kindness you want to share, or maybe something else that's a bit more aggressive, but rather a need for a timeout, a need for you to focus on something maybe somebody wants you to focus on, or something that you want to focus on. You don't have to do it all the time. You ain't a cop.
Oh, no, not those. Definitely not that.
Okay. Let me go ahead and get this. Let's go ahead and flip your second card now, sweetie. The Ten of Cups. Ooh, this is a really confusing reading. So the Ten of Cups.
It's just a lot of cups, though, right?
Well, the thing is, numbers, the bigger they are, the more confusing they can be.
That
10's a
makes
big
sense.
number. I only got 10 fingers.
Mhm.
How many do you have?
He holds them out just to make sure. Last time we checked, I had 10.
Okay.
Nope, they're all still there.
Okay, good. This place is right. Okay, so the Ten of Cups signifies harmony, happiness, alignment. Bountiful happiness, a time to rejoice. Now, happiness can mean different things, okay? It doesn't just have to mean smiles. It can mean pleasure, it can mean giving in to desires, it can mean doing what's easier. Your adversity could be something distracting you from, well, whatever you should be focusing on. Okay? Keep a clear head, don't think too hard, and she knocks on your noggin, and you should be fine. Should. I make no promises. I take no responsibility for what you do with these readings.
It's a little hard to understand, but I think I'm following.
Well, with any luck, sweetie, someone like you won't be alone for long. Kind souls like you always have a habit of finding the right people to stick to. Now, your final card here is the Hermit. The Hermit is you know any of those cleric types, those monk types, or those people in the churches who think and pray a lot?
Oh yeah, I've seen him around.
Yeah. So the hermit's kind of like that. I'm not saying you need to go to church. I'm not a a missionary. I would never force anybody to do belief. But the hermit is about introspection, about taking time, thinking things over, avoiding those materialistic gains, avoiding things that are temporary, and focusing on what's on the inside. And she pokes your chest first to indicate your heart, the garden she's been talking about. Then she sort of pats your chest. It's ooh, that's firm.
He kind of flexes a little bit, puffs his chest out, yeah, right.
You work hard, sweetie. That's a lot of extrospection, but you want to do the intra part.
Right. Muscles on the inside, which they're there. They're already there.
Yeah, I think so. I read a book about that once. Anyways. Before I let you go, sweetie, because I did promise just the tarot reading and a bunch of biscuits, you can also take a few of those to go. I know you got a lot of steps to do. Here, and I want to make a slight addendum to what I do with Callan, but for Warwick, she hands you the flyer as well as the Hermit card. You hang on to that, okay?
Oh, are you sure? I don't really have the gold to spare.
Oh, no,
Unfortunately.
Sweetie, you helped me peg. Not many people would help a grandma peg on the side of the road.
It is one of my specialties.
Now you take that card, and this flyer, I know some of the words are big, but basically, when you go down the road, there's going to be some shiny mushrooms. Just follow the green-colored ones, and then the red-colored ones. You'll know when to make the turn. You got that intuition about you. But if you try to make it there by nightfall, there's going to be a nice, fun event, lots of food, lots of games, and safe respite for the night. You're not going to be able to make it to the next town in time at your rate, okay?
Oh, this sounds great, actually. Thanks so much. Are you planning on going there, or are you gonna hang out here?
Maybe. I don't know. My donkey wandered off, so I kind of have to wait till he gets back. But don't worry about me. The cards have done well in keeping me on the good for a while now. So, I'll be fine. And hopefully that card there will help you figure things out too.
Kind of turns it around a little bit. Looks at it. Well, I mean, if they've helped you out so much, I guess it could help me too.
It feels safe. It feels reassuring to keep this on you. You don't want to let this go if you can. And as the addendum for Callan, aka Lily, you get the Justice card. I forgot to give that to you. So you have that in your inventory.
Woo!
Yeah. Anyways, is there anything you'd like to do next, Julia? Or are you going to wander off towards that nice little event in the woods?
He probably won't stay for too long, but enough to just kind of make sure she's like settled in and her tent is good and he has all his biscuits and so a little bit of tea left before waving off to her and starting to head in that direction then.
Okay. With that, Warwick's hook is concluded. Maris, Obsidia, any takers, or shall I roll the 1d2 and see who gets fucked?
I'll do it.
Okay, alright, taking you on, Obs, got it. Okay. Obs, I think you'd very much like to talk about the setting of your next campaign, right?
Yeah, it's, I know it quite well at this point. So Ravenna is from the setting of Nexus, which is a setting I wrote, and I will be running a campaign of it in the future with several of these people in it. But most importantly, the region that she is from is a very industrialized, arcano-punk kind of place, and she is very familiar with things like, cars, trains, planes, and radio, but also magic and all kinds of fantasy races. So,
Right. Now, Obsidia, Ravenna is from a pretty important family, right? Hence the requisite lady before Ravenna, right?
yes, she is from her family, the Dunaray, are one of the high houses of the Principality of Avalon, one of the oligarchical families that run it.
Yeah, and you're not the sole lady, you're not the sole daughter, right? There's someone maybe a little more important than you, right?
That is correct.
Speaking of her, your sister, Ravenna, you and your sister have a very strict schedule. You're important, so naturally we have to make sure you do things that are beneficial to your family. Unfortunately for your family, you two are growing young girls who deserve some free time in your life. And while you may be more willing to play ball and not break too many rules lest you upset your father, your sister Morgan's a little more rambunctious, as you two have heard from your father that, much to his chagrin, and the town's depravity, is a flea market being held for whatever reason in the center of town, where like the rich upper crust live. Naturally, you and your sister mainly really wants to go out and see all the new shiny stuff. Maybe buy a few exotic odds and ends while you guys are traveling out there. So, and you love your sister a lot, right?
Oh, with my entire heart.
Yep.
She's my world.
Exactly, and your whole world would be nothing without her. So, whether or not you think this is a good idea, you gladly veil up with her, with these anti-divination veils that help the famous and important stay a little more discreet in their day-to-day travels as you two head out to the flea market. Is there anything that catches your eye? Anything you'd like to keep an eye out for, maybe, instead of buying stuff around like your sister has been?
Since this is, while it is a nice area, this is still kind of a concerning thing. So Ravenna is actually going to be the more reserved member of this, kind of letting her sister kind of have some more fun and kind of lurking not far behind her, but just kind of watching things and having her trusty butterfly familiar Amethyst flying around just to make sure everything is safe for her because she is concerned.
Thankfully, your butterfly can report back that there's a good amount of city guard around. In addition, there's a lot of like there are some other people that you can kind of tell is also wearing the discreet veiled hoods, the anti-divination hoods, and there are also other people that are just openly being celebrities. So a lot of the tension's like all over the place, but you and your sister aren't really drawing much to yourselves. Speaking of, every time you turn away to go make sure you guys aren't being followed, and you turn back, she comes running up to you with this ecstatic, beaming smile, showing off a new thing. She sounds like, "Look, sister, look at these dangling little things. They call them dream catchers." Or, "Sister, have you ever tried a corn dog? It's not made out of dog, apparently."
Oh, how charming. But please, Morgan, while these things are delightful, I would caution you from acquiring too many. You know how father will feel if he finds these.
Oh, please, sis. If there's any suitors that dear papa wants us to look out for, I mean, you and I both know we have two major things those guys are going to look at, right?
Yes, of course, lineage and wealth. And she kind of smiles.
Anyways, come on. I saw this really cool tent in the corner that no one's really going in, but it's covered in these patterns. It just looks beautiful. Maybe sell some of them. Maybe we could buy like a rug to take back home. I know, like, your room could use a splash more color, if you don't mind.
Well, you know that color has never been quite my forte. I always felt the need to leave that to you. And she kind of smiles as she, takes her sister by the hand.
Yeah, but, well, I mean, I wear black and stuff because I like thinking of you, so I was thinking if I gave you something colored like me, you know. Being a sister's hard. Okay, come on, let's just go.
And Venya will just kind of smile as she gets pulled along by her sister.
You guys make your way down the flea market festival. At this point, I don't know what it is anymore. People have just shown up and started setting up stalls, doing whatever. Passing by all the people who are flagging you down, saying, "Hey, 2-for-1 deal! Hey, I got a kebab with your name on it! Hey. And you finally get to the edge of the market where there's this one lonely tent, and standing outside of it is a rather tall-looking figure. Not insanely tall, not dwarfing you by any means, but a tall woman, you could say. You could tell from her figure, draped in a red cloak and blue and white finery, some shining gold jewelry and tassels dangling off of her, as she just stands there and, despite all shadow covering her face, makes direct eye contact with you and your sister in a hint of recognition.
Do I recognize her, or is
You don't recognize her, but I'm saying that she has
okay.
recognized you. That's my bad.
Okay.
There's a hint of recognition in her face because it's sort of like you and your partner, you and your sister are trying to like keep down low. She has noticed you keeping it down low and knows who you are, and that's maybe bad.
Ravenia will kind of casually sweep in front of her sister to look at the tall woman and just kind of take the lead at this and go, "And what do we have in this fine pavilion?"
Why, Lady Duna Ray and Lady Duna Ray, she whispers this to not gather any attention. I am merely a humble psychic tarot card reader. I foretell futures, and I sell odds and ends to help people prevent such unfortunate futures from befalling them. Now, what are you two doing here? Your father is supposedly out in the center of town giving a speech. Are you too sure you're not supposed to be with him? I can call a guard over to escort you if you'd like.
I just kind of like narrow her eyes at this woman and go, "It seems that you are incredibly informed, more than I would say a simple purveyor of carnival divination would be."
Why, Lady Dunaray, I only know
But the cards know. They know a lot. And something tells me you and your sister would like to learn a whole lot. I'd like to learn a whole lot. So just the fact that if you don't hurry up and get in my tent, 2 guards will turn the corner, immediately recognizing the symbols on the back of your veils. And she, with her foot, very slightly drapes the tent cover open.
Divination with a side of extortion. This should be enlightening.
Have no intent to harm or disrupt your activities. I merely wish to... What is it I do again? Read. To give you 2 a reading. Now, you could step in, or you could take the chance that I'm lying and hope that there aren't 2 guards around the corner. At this point, your sister Morgan is less so concerned about the guards and more so just hype about the fact that this quote-unquote charlatan is putting on a good show and genuinely wants to check things out.
Revenge is kind of pained looking over at Morgan and gonna go, Morgan, I don't think this is such a good idea.
Well, I mean, I guess that's fair. Father did say not to walk into random tents with strangers in the middle of the day, which was oddly specific. But, I mean, we're in a very public place. I mean, the worst case something happens, one of us fires off a spell. We'll get in trouble with Dad, but if this lady really is out to hurt us, she'll probably get sent to a jail cell or something, or maybe executed. Who knows? Besides, she looks... I see some moving cards in there, and I kind of want to see what's going on. Please?
You know I could never say no to you. And I'm sure now she is painfully aware of the repercussions of any kind of illicit activities she may intend to engage in.
Like I said, Lady Dunaray, I am only interested in reading. And, well, as aggressive as this method is, I doubt you and your sister would want to stop by any old tarot reading tent. God, this plan has not been good on my tongue. Anyways, please hurry inside. They're about to turn the corner.
All right. She'll let Morgan pull her in.
Mm-hmm. And as the tent's drapery closes behind you, and as your sisters immediately wondered, pulled in by the floating lights and the echoes of magic that don't really read as a school that neither of you know. Not abjuration, not evocation, just something not too common. You hear guards talking outside. Excuse me, ma'am, we are looking for Lady Dunaray and Lady You know them. Their father's looking for them. Sir Dunaray, he's requiring their presence for, well, just to be near him as he finishes his speech up in the town square. Do you know where they could be? I'm sorry, do you have a picture, perhaps? Or I'm new to this town. I'm from far out of town. Would you two be perhaps interested in a reading of some kind? And immediately an older guard goes, save it, boys. She's trying to fleece us for our gold's worth. Let's just, that tent over there looks suspicious. Let's just go inside there. And they wander off, heavy footsteps after heavy footsteps. After some time, the hooded lady walks in and takes a seat and asks for you and your sister to get comfortable and points at, you can place yourself on the map anywhere in the tent if you'd like. Cydia. And you will be joined by...
I'll take the purple chair.
Oh, God, what the fuck? It didn't crop properly. God fucking damn it. All right.
It's okay.
Yeah,
Look at that beautiful girl. That's my sister.
I'm trying to get a way to, show it to everybody, but I'll just click on this button. Show it to everyone if they want to see it. But yeah, this is Morgan Dunaray, Ravenya's lovely sister. I'll post art of her in the Discord server later for you guys to take a closer look at. You two take your seats. 2 tea trays float by with freshly brewed tea, some snacks. Far less than you would expect on a tea tray. maybe a previous guest had been in there. So, ladies Dunare, please tell me about yourselves, your interests, what you seek to get out of your little escapade today while I shuffle a deck.
This is a period of rare ignorance you've chosen to display. It seemed that mere moments before you knew everything about us.
Like I said, Ravenna, I only know what the cards know. I don't know your personalities, I don't know what you want. When you tell me that, the cards will know, and then I guess I'll know from now on. Your sister immediately pipes up saying, well, we're bored, and we'd like to be entertained.
Exactly. We are here to be entertained.
Hold on, I'm taking a sip of water.
Should have had her do a sip of tea in character.
Yeah, she has water. She gave you guys features, she doesn't have enough cups. That's the lore now. There's a lot of this we talk, but what do you mean by we? And you turn to your left and your sister's immediately just not in the room.
Ravenna will bolt upright and she starts thrumming with magical energy.
She holds up a finger to indicate a wait and then flips a card, revealing your sister back in the seat. And your sister's like, Ravenna, where were you?
Where were you? Are you all right?
I'm fine, I was with her.
Did she do anything to you?
She didn't. I got scared. I didn't know where you were. And then the lady speaks up. Just simple smoke and mirrors. With tarot card reading, I don't often do one for groups. I know that talking about yourself is rather hard in the company of others. And the tarot cards reveal your futures. So as precaution, and out of respect, when I do these readings, you will each get them separately. What you choose to do with what you learn is up to you. Now, before you go freaking out about where I've moved to, you're still in the same. Just smoke and mirrors. After all, I mean, it's impossible to shift you into different planes, right?
Ravenna's gonna go, move her chair next to Morgan and hold her sister's, right hand with her left as she looks and goes, yes, that's common knowledge. There hasn't been any form of planeswalking in over 2 millennia.
I know. It's just a big old fairy tale, you know? And as she says that, she's shuffling the deck. Your sister disappears again, but despite not hearing her, despite not seeing her, you feel her hand gripping yours tightly. She's still in the room. You just can't interact with her outside of this hand-holding. So you better not let go.
I would never.
You know, I have 2 siblings, 2 brothers that mean quite a lot to me. But I have to be apart from them. I've had to be apart from them for so very long. Have you and your sister ever been apart?
No, I would never leave her.
Well, what if things changed? You can't expect the same thing to be day in and day out. That's why the next day isn't called today, it's called tomorrow. It's different. I'm not making any threats. Again, I really need to stress that I just want to read cards. Help you to figure out what it is you want to have. As she keeps drawing cards and flipping them to show you, until finally she looks at a card and is very confused by the appearance and chucks it
towards you. For a second, it looks like she chucks 2 cards before one of the other cards fades away out of sight. You flip up the star. And you don't know what your sister got, but you can feel her hand tensing up as you look at the card. And you see yourself. But just yourself. It feels wrong. It's normal in other families to have separate sibling photos, but I'd imagine for the Duna Rays, every portrait, every photo, every sketch, every recording, you were bound at the hip. An image where it's just you, and only you, feels wrong. And the card turns blank, and turns to dust as it reapparates in her hand. 2 cards. She shuffles them back on the deck. Still shuffling, just looking at you for your response.
Venya just kind of looks in disgust at the card before it disappears, and looks back at the dealer and goes, "You know, we were always taught that the tools a divinationist uses are simply there to distract from the actual spells being weaved by them. They are simply the setup to whatever ploy that the Arcanist is attempting to do. And I want you to know, I do not find this amusing."
So you'd like to cut right to it. Well, I suppose your sister's kind of looking the same way, to be honest. Getting a little impatient, her. She wants to get out of here like you, but she's a lot more curious. So we'll just cut right to the reading, okay? And I swear to you, you can look at me. No somatics, no verbals, no materials in my hands besides these cards that you've held. There's no spell, no arcane going on. I'm going to do a simple path through adversity reading, Ravenia. You hear as she says her name, it sort of like echoes, and you hear your sister's name too at the same time. The first card... Actually, wait. Can you draw the 3? What am I... I'm forgetting a simple basic. And she slides the now shuffled deck towards you, and you pull out the 3 cards after... Do you want to investigate the deck at all, by any way?
Yes, I would inspect it closely.
There's no obvious school of magic in this deck. There is magic emanating from it. You see the pictures and colors moving, swaying to different things. You can feel your sister's fingers in your hand sort of doing the same thing. Where she's like holding a card in that hand while holding yours, and the other hand's probably moving the deck around. But nothing is being cast. It's not even reading like an arcane focus. It's in its own loop, separate from whatever you can interact with. It's like you're looking into a window, and you can't open it. She motions for her hand to ask for the deck back if you're satisfied.
Yeah.
Okay. First 3 cards. First card is your goal, your finality. The 9 of Cups. The 9 of Cups stands for wishes being fulfilled, satisfaction, success. I imagine your father could see this as you being married off to a suitor beneficial to the family, right? Or you making something of yourself that would benefit him and his people. But this is you, and only you. And she looks over to where Morgan would be sitting, indicating that this truly is you at this point. Hold on, I'm just going to make notes here on your readings. Okay. Now, that's what it means for your father. For you, it could mean contentment. It could mean being filled in a physical sense, or magical. It means that at the end of your journey, you want to be in a state of pure satisfaction, of pure peace of mind, not relying on anyone or anything to just live your life day by day. Same way I rely on these cards, you don't want to rely on whatever you have to rely on.
You want to know that everything is done and that you can rest. Okay? Second
That's
card.
ridiculous.
What do you mean? What's so ridiculous about it?
It's a ridiculous proposition. I already have everything I want.
Is it?
I want for nothing.
There was once a boy who wanted nothing more than to eat bread with his dog. Then he got bread. Then he wanted bread with butter. Got bread with butter. What I'm saying, Ravenna, is you can be content, but peace of mind is always changing. Magic is a river, and if you expect it to flow the same way all the way down your life, then you don't know what magic is. The way these cards change, the way they foretell futures that are ever shifting, your peace of mind will come and go. It'll ebb and flow like the waves of the ocean. And the only way you're going to find it is by making through this adversity, which is the inverted Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune stands for cycles, a turn of events, believing in how fate spins its destiny. But this is inverted. You shouldn't be expecting the unexpected. You shouldn't be prepping for anything, really. What's really going to be holding you back here is a fear of change, to be stuck in a rut, to be unwilling to move forward against whatever flow, whatever way the waves of magic change. You need to be able to flow with that river. Also, I just pulled this card. This is fucking perfect. I just wanted to stress that. Yeah. Just like I said, you need to be open to more than what you have. To know that there are other options to fulfill your needs. Finally, your path through. The answer that you need. The inverted Nine of Swords. Now, the Nine of Swords refers to depression, nightmares, anxiety, things that bog you mentally. But the inverted meaning means to be overly concerned, to be overly anxious. You need to be willing to let things go, to open yourself up, to leave behind the anguish and focus on the promising times ahead, to focus on what makes you happy. Are you happy, Ravenna?
Of course I am.
Will you be? Forever and ever?
Of course. What more could I want from this world?
Your sister's taking a little longer to answer that question.
That is her privilege. I am blessed with certainty of purpose. I know exactly what is meant for me. I know exactly what to do, and I have been given everything I need to continue.
Like I said, you need to be able to ebb and flow like the very waves of magic around you. Just something to keep in mind. I can't make you do anything you don't want to do. And as she says that, you hear your sister really turn to you, like watery-eyed and hugging you tightly.
Ravenna will squeeze her back, taking solace in the continued solid nature of her form.
Sorry if that got a little... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, it's all right. It's all right. I'm here. I'll always be here.
I know. I know, sis. I just... She turns to look at her and says, these readings were, helpful. Is there anything else? Is there anything else, Ravenna?
No, it seems that we got exactly what we wanted from this, and I think it's probably best that we stop dillying here any longer.
Give me a second. Sorry. Okay. That's entirely fair. These readings get really intense, and like I said, that's all I wanted to do. Didn't want to hurt, didn't want to ruin you. But, listen, before I let you guys girls go, it appears in the time we spent here, most of the flea market has gone by. But you two still deserve to smile, so tell you what. I'll give you one extra tip from the cards. At exactly... She gives a time. I don't know what Nexus uses for time. 7:45 p.m.
We're going to assume the same 24-hour clock.
Okay. Your father will unfortunately have an attendant spill coffee on him, resulting in retiring in early as he washes down and rests the burns away. Now, this attended by accident, and I didn't do anything. At exactly that time, 2 guards that are posted in your hallway will be gone. A little drunk from today's festivities, they'll want to rest and sit down in the other hallway leading to the foyer. In that time, you can leave out the back entrance in the kitchen and head to here. And she hands you a flyer, and more noticeably, she sneaks a card to your sister and one to you. One in a manner where you'll more so notice yours than your sister's. She hands you, for the moment, I might change this later to something more fitting, or, you know, if Maris pulls this, I'll give it to him instead, because I didn't pull a major arcana. She hands you the Lover's Arcana card. And for some reason it feels safe to hold this. Feels right. You also don't want to go showing it off. Not to your sister, at least, right now. Doesn't feel important to share at the moment. And the flyer states that at a certain time, at a certain location, there will be festivities, there will be smiles. And the cloakwoman returns speaking, I promise you. Night of festivities, okay? You'll meet lovely individuals, you'll have lovely food, lovely games, lovely shows. And you'll be able to return in time before your father notices anything. Okay?
So noted. I will take this advice with the same severity as the rest of your reading.
Thank you. And remember, I only know what the cards know, okay? Whatever you two do with what you know now, well, it's your decision. And is there anything else you'd like to do with your sister?
Once we get out of the tent, just kind of take a second to recover, because Ravenna is very shaken by that experience and incredibly wary of basically everything that this so-called tarot reading divinationist said. And so she's going to just try and turn to her sister and go, well, then I think we still have some time left before we have to see Father, and I happen to know that there was a sweet stand around the corner.
Why, you think they'll have cotton candy? Father never lets us have them, but I heard it's like eating clouds.
I have heard that. I've also heard that it tends to dissipate rapidly, so there shouldn't be any evidence left over. And she kind of chuckles.
He could divine our teeth all he wants. He'll have no idea of the cavities we'll soon have. Come on, sis.
And with that, she'll frolic off, holding her sister's hand, leading her, and squeezing the hand a little tighter as they leave.
She squeezes back, reassuredly letting each other know that no matter what happens, you'll always do your best to stick with each other. And with that...
Always.
Always. I love sisters in my fucking. I love siblings in D&D. All right. Something catgirl sisters. Anyways, Albus, is there anything else or?
Nope, that should be it.
Okay. Big man Maris. It's time.
Yeah, let's go.
So, Maris, you've sent me some really interesting and good reading and materials on your setting. Would you like to share that with everyone else here?
Yes. So Jericho is from the lore, the world of Vampire Hunter D, which, for anyone who doesn't know, is in fact Earth as we know it, just about 10,000 years in the future, after a horrible nuclear apocalypse gone wrong, caused humans to live underground, and the first beings that emerged underground after centuries of subterranean living got absolutely fucked up by the leftover radioactive, atmosphere, and became monsters, vampires, werewolves, so on and so forth. Humanity in the timeline as Jericho knows it, has only been freed of the tyrannical rule of vampires for about the last 40-ish years. So the human race is still very much a fledgling civilization at this point, trying to survive and rediscover themselves now that they have been freed of their masters.
There's still dregs of things to hunt, though, right? For you and your kin, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's very rarely a dull day. Still plenty of good hunting.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of hunting, we come now to late at night at a set of trees, a whole forest outside of a small village. Your adrenaline is high, Jericho. You're moving quickly, stepping over branches, making noise, panting heavily, as bits of blood drip down from right below your neck. But this time, you're not chasing something down. You're a hunter, so this is rather unusual for you, but this time, you are being hunted. You weren't sure exactly what happened back in that town, if you gave the wrong stare, if you flashed the wrong signal, but the people of that town ran you out, and are still running you out. You were warned, you were told off, despite helping those people. And in a moment where you lowered your guard, where you thought the child that you saved would vouch for you, something sharp had gone for your neck. Something painful. Didn't land exactly, cut right through. But you managed to get away, with the townsfolk still chasing after you well into the woods. No longer fearful, because what threat was there, you took care of for him. Now you're the threat. What is it you'd like to do as you find a quick moment to stop and take in your surroundings?
I think Jericho pressing a hand to the wound to try and stay the bleeding as he hunkers down for a moment. He's not particularly upset or angered by this turn of events, but there will always be a part of him that hopes that one day it would be different. So he takes a moment, catches breath. He's definitely not as young as he used to be. And carries on. Keep making that trek. Each step. He knows he can outrun them. He's not worried about that. just keep moving.
At a more steady pace to control your bleeding, to not breathe so hard,
Mm.
to relax. And as you continue to move through these woods, unsure of which direction you're really walking in at this point, you see mist on the ground rising up, and you see lights in the distance. A small tent has been erected between the trees, and the light inside feels inviting, welcoming. As you take in the strange sight, despite you being so assured of your physicality, of your ability to outrun the average fucking peasant, you hear shouts and you turn back and see other torches and weapons brandished against their light, not too far away from you.
Damn, they just don't give up. He'll take a moment, weigh his options, and frankly, anything or anyone that's in that tent is likely to be less of a threat than an angry mob, so he'll duck in.
You make your way in, and are immediately greeted by a surprising appearance. Despite this being a ramshackle tent in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, the lights are floating, there's beautiful furniture and drapery decorating everything, and sitting at the table, looking at you almost expectantly, is a woman in a red cloak and a dark blue and white scarf with jewelry and tassels draping all over her. Welcome. Do you often make yourself at home at strange tents of the night?
As a matter of fact, no. Usually I have the politeness to ask first.
Well, Jericho, as she starts shuffling some carts in front of her, take a seat. The people outside will walk past, not notice a single thing out of place.
Thank you. He'll narrow his eyes, pull up a chair, and sit down. Make himself look as comfortable as he can, like he's not on edge right now. And just look around at the surroundings and look at the woman across the table. Just, this is magic, isn't it?
Do you have magic here? Or is this
Here
more
is
unusual?
Here is in this town, this country, this...
Under this sky. You do have the one sky, right?
so far as I'm aware.
You haven't seen much of this, of any world, right?
No, there are very few who have that privilege.
It's a shame. You'd meet all sorts of characters. Your world's really vast. Sorry, go ahead.
No one good.
I wouldn't say that. I got lost for a while, so I took the time, well, looking for you, to take a look around. Did you know that there are some people on this planet that you're on the very Earth that you're sitting on, who don't even know what a vampire is?
Hope it stays that way.
Some people don't know who a hunter is. Some lands face monstrosities you could only dream of. And I'm only talking about here. I'm not even mentioning where I'm from. Now, tell me, Mr. Jericho, first off, that is a ghastly wound. And she snaps her fingers in this sort of like first aid kit, a very modern looking one for your time period. Sort of like shackles towards you, rumbles towards you, and then pops open with an accoutrement of bandages, syringes, medicines, whatever you could need to, well, hide that embarrassing scar you've now gotten under your neck.
And you're just a nice woman doing a good turn, are you?
Well, no. I help people because I want something back. Now, everyone does that.
Of course.
To be kind is to be selfish, after all. And I'd rather see you bandaged up on that chair than bleeding out on my nice carpet.
Fair enough. And he'll rummage through the first aid kit at that.
Mm-hmm. You can patch yourself up. There's no medicine check here. Heck, the medicines you see and stuff, it's like, it's good enough that no matter how fucking bad you are, no matter whatever 8 or 10 hit you have, you'll be fine. So, Mr. Jericho, why is it that you still do what you do?
That's a pretty simple question. You're good at something, you keep doing it.
Well, I mean, I'd like to think I make a good tea, but, well, you can tell I'm not a barista. Mr. Jericho,
Just Jericho is fine.
Jericho it is. I like to believe that people are always in search of something, whether they know it or not. Whether it's home, whether it's family. You do have family, right?
No.
Do you want to find a family?
No.
Then tell me, is there something that you want? No one, you just agreed with me that to be kind is to be selfish. You aren't doing this for nothing. Also, Jericho, you can put yourself on the map. Sorry for not saying that earlier.
I do this because not only is it what I'm good at, or what I'm meant to do, but a lot of people don't have the strength to stand on their own 2 feet yet.
That's fair. We help others so that they can help themselves, or us, in turn. Just like how those kind people out there were so willing to help you after you helped them. But maybe you don't seem to mind what they did.
No. If it saved the child, save the next generation, what do I care?
No, that doesn't seem right, Jericho. Do you think your life has meaning? Does your life have value because you help people? Or is it because you don't find value in it that you help people? Because theirs is worth more.
You are a remarkably nosy woman.
Well, the cards only tell me so much, Jericho. I'd like to find out the rest on my own.
I usually need a drink before someone goes asking me about my life.
Very well. And she snaps, and tea, a cup is just in your hand with a tea kettle floating above, pouring into it.
Not what I had in mind, but that'll do.
Very next frame, it immediately cuts to a stein of ale.
Not tea.
Mm-hmm. Is that more your style? I don't think
Yeah, that I haven't had one quite this big in a while, but yes, thank you.
Jericho, I deal in helping people find their fates. I deal with helping people find meaning in their futures. I, however, can't help someone find a future they have no interest in. You know what I mean by that, right?
I know what my future holds. It's pretty cut and dry.
Well, how about this? This isn't your reading. This is just something to give you a little idea. Past, present, and future. And she tossed 3 cards to you to flip. You can flip them in any order you want. This isn't a tarot card reading, by the way. I'm just trying to figure Jericho out.
I don't normally abide by your kind of craft.
You drink my ale and use the same tools to heal yourself from my craft?
Ale's ale, no matter how you cook it.
Jericho, you are not the first person to dabble in things they shouldn't. And you won't be the last, as you know. I promise you, all I can do is tell. I can't make anything happen. Do you flip the first card? Oh, good.
If you could make things happen, we would be having a very different conversation.
But I can't, so we're having this one. You interested in looking at those, or should I just pull them back?
Of course I'm interested. It's human nature to be curious, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. You flip the
He'll
first.
flip.
Okay.
Yeah, he'll flip the first one.
The first card is the past, and you could care less about the meaning because the pretty pictures tell a story. You get a feeling as you look at these colors. Warmth, togetherness. You aren't alone. And you weren't afraid of what was going to come in the next card. Because you didn't know what was going to come next. Do you flip the second card?
Yes.
The second card is the present. And as you look at it, you see a hanging man. Man strung up on the gallows. But he doesn't look like he's in pain. Doesn't look like he's struggling to breathe. He just stares out into the void, looking for an answer. Your final card, if you so please.
He'll flip it.
You see nothing. No image, no color, no feeling. And you know that's wrong. You know logically, you know physically that is wrong. That whatever future you have, you should be terrified that there's a void. But even though you'll never admit it, some part of you, some disgusting, malicious part of you, is content with wanting nothing. And the cards fly right back to her as she looks for a response.
Like I said, cut and dry.
You take bounties, right? You take jobs.
I do.
She takes her hood, and I don't have art for this yet because drawing is hard, but she lowers her hood, revealing her short, curled black hair, her dark tan skin, the strange reddish-brown markings decorating her face, her amberish eyes staring back at you. And the strangest part to you, 'you, 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 Jericho, I don't know what it'll take to get your trust, but I need you to help me with something. And that means helping yourself. I need you to open yourself up, at least a little bit, to the idea there is more. Any response to the knife here?
Yeah, he's not being shy at all in staring and eyeing her up. And just with a curious but sharp glance, just kind of shakes his head a little. I know. I have a hunter's intuition about things that harm mankind. And I'm not getting a single thing from you.
Like we talked about, Jericho, you've only had so many steps on this earth. And soon you'll be taking steps into whole new places, whole new ideas, and most dangerously of all, whole new people. I'm happy to see that you're calm, because you're gonna have to hang on to that calm. Whatever notions, whatever normalcy that you've gotten used to, living your whole life here, you'll have to be ready to change, to float with, okay?
You're acting like this bounty of yours is a considerable distance away.
It's a short walk for you, but for anyone else, you'll be long gone, which, given your recent encounter, might be beneficial. I can't offer you any money up front, and I can't promise that you'll be able to find success on your end. I'll leave you a reading to help you find a future where things will work out for you. But I need you to be open to it. I need you to want to see this job to the end. And that includes you being open to wanting to at least a little bit see something more than a black card.
I don't know what your mysticism has to do with any of this, but if you are offering a job, a bounty, then I always see through to the end, one way or another.
Your job will have many challenges, many factors, and many things you'll have to adapt to. You will be able to find room and board, and I know for without a doubt you will be able to find people to work with. It will be quite some time till you find your target, but you'll know him when you see him. And when you finish your job, no matter how long it takes, you will be rewarded with a future that you hopefully desire. Or one that you will come to desire. Now, do you have any questions, or shall I begin my reading? And stop staring at my ears.
Well, sorry, that, that was gonna be my question. If it's not too rude to inquire, as I've already discerned you're not much of a threat. At least I don't think so. Like, so,
Sorry, Maris, you cut out there. Do you mind repeating that?
oh, what are you exactly?
I know you've read, what is it called here, a Bible? But, have you read any books about an elf?
Um, children's fairy tales, maybe.
Well, give it some time. Maybe you'll run into more fairy tales. All stories have some level of truth to them, Jericho. One last thing before I tell you your future. This job isn't just a hunt. I want you to save 2 of my brothers. They've been lost to me for quite some time.
How long we talking?
An amount of time you couldn't even begin to fathom.
They're already dead.
No. They can still be returned, but don't think about it too hard. Focus on your future, and as long as you come out the other end, we will both have completed our goals.
Listen, I'm willing to see this through, but if you think this is gonna be a successful rescue mission, if your brothers were taken by someone, something, I like to give my clients the truth.
If they aren't alive, then by all means you can break the news to me however you see fit. But I know what the cards tell me, Jericho. And as long as you see your path through adversity through, you will complete your mission. And you won't be alone. Alright, I'm gonna start the reading, okay? You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Shuffle the deck, yada yada. Showing your ale, yada yada. Okay. 3 cards. Our first card, the Queen of Cups. The first card is your goal. The Queen of Cups stands for emotional security, compassion, calmness, intuitivity. Jericho, you may not want to admit to this future, but a part of you wants to feel secure, whether that be with others or with faith in yourself, with knowing that you'll be enough. This emotional security is through compassion, whether from others or from you. A mother, a father, a teacher, a friend. Your adversity, the 8 of Cups. Disappointment, abandonment, withdrawal. Have you ever lost someone before?
Everyone has.
You'd be surprised how many people can say no to that question, especially if we keep doing good in this world. The 8 of Cups and its abandonment is to walk away from something that's not fulfilling, to give up on something that's not good. Your adversity is walking away from something, of refusing to acknowledge something that should be there for you. Giving up on something before it's had time to blossom. And if you don't acknowledge it, if you lose that thing, if you walk away from it, who's to say it'll be there when you want to come back? Finally, your path through. The Knight of Wands. Action, impulse, adventure. It may seem straightforward. Keep walking forward, you'll make your way through. But it also indicates time to plan before taking action, to look before you leap, to go against impulsiveness. And more specifically, the Knight of Wands is someone who is charismatic, someone that you can look at and look up to. If you are to safely make it through, take your time, Jericho. Don't give in to those immediate negative feelings I know you have when you think a good thing is too good. That ale in your hand is more than real, and any other kindness coming your way is bound to be the same. She takes the cards back on the deck and looks at your eyes for a response.
Jericho looks wearied by this, but tries to give a polite smile and kind of huffs a curt laugh. Just, you know, if if I were maybe 30 years younger, you may have been onto something.
How old do you think I am, Jericho?
I've learned to not to ask a lady her age.
I'll give you a hint. I wasn't saying Mr. out of respect for your seniority, she air quotes. That reading was a hard one to do. My head is aching. You are not a very open man.
You are not the first. Say that.
But hopefully soon, I'll be one of the last. Now, Jericho, this job, it'll happen as you find your steps home. There's no plan A, plan B, spot A, objective B. But I do want you to go somewhere to unwind and feel safe from your last attack. Does none of us any good if you're shaken. She hands you a flyer as well as the Chariot Tarot card. The flyer indicates a location, a time, but it's not exactly a dossier. It's drawn with smiles and laughs, and looks to be a fun time. Follow the mushrooms, they'll take you there. It's a nice, fun time. Festivities, food, and plenty of kind people who will not harm you no matter what you may be to them. And hopefully, much like how you stayed calm seeing me, you'll stay calm and accepting of them. Okay?
Look, people, particularly large groups of people, and we don't get along like we used to.
Well, I'm not part of any people that you didn't get along with, and I think we got along just fine. You remind me of my brother, in a way. And just like me, you'll meet people who aren't part of any people you've met before. Give them a chance, Jericho. Worst case, you can be all aloof and moody. Stay in your corner while you guys work together. But just like you gave my reading a chance, you'll give them a chance. Now, that angry
Will they
mob-
give?
Hmm?
Will they give me a chance?
Jericho, if you think you're the only one I gave readings to, you are sorely lacking in foresight. They'll give you a chance. Because they'll need you to give them a chance. Now
You've been scrounging up the dregs of humanity, have you?
I wouldn't go calling them that. You're liable to get a slap in the face. No, I was just going where the cards told me to go. Speaking of, I have a few more readings to do. And that town mob is well past. Again, follow the mushrooms, they'll take you where you need to go. And you'll find food, rest, shelter, and most importantly, fun with good people. Okay?
All right. Have fun with your next reading, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. And Jericho, I truly do mean it when I tell you to stay safe.
I always do.
You wander out of the tent, the mist now gone, the tent almost instantly disappearing the moment you step out. But a trail of mushrooms lit up lead deeper into the woods. Anything you'd like to share, Jericho, before you hopefully begin wandering off where she asked you to go?
Oh, this is such a bad idea, but at this point, do I hear any of the angry townsfolk?
Nope. She was truthful in saying it. They have well passed by. You are safe. For however long you may need to follow this path.
Oh, man of sorrow guide me. Alright, let's go.
That, boys and girl kissers, you can unmute. Okay, that's all of your hooks. And
Whoa.
Oh my goodness.
I know it's
We're
been
a mess.
Yeah, it was a good mix. It was a very good mix of reactions and interactions. It has been 2 hours and 11 minutes. I want to check on how you guys are doing. I'm fine just teasing next session and or letting you guys interact with a bit if you want. How are you guys feeling?
I'm good to still keep going if you
Yeah,
guys are.
I'm feeling good.
Okay, I'll
Yeah, I
do
can do another 30 minutes.
Yeah, I'll do another check at 10 o'clock and then we'll like hard stop there, worst case. Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. Now I'm gonna move all of you guys back to the front page for now, as none of you are in that tent anymore. If you don't see the front page of Curse of Strahd, refresh, yada yada. So, as she is foretold, and as your cards give you the feeling, everything that she has did to pass has come to pass. Callan, no new campaigns come in. None. You try bringing up the flyer to a CO, to your commanding officer, tells you to investigate it yourself. No point in sparing the manpower during a rare period of peace. Very weird to say that.
More work.
Go check it out yourself. It's all you, girl. Ravenna, just like she said, guards now in the hallway. Your dad screamed at dinner as coffee poured into his lap. Your mother taking him upstairs to deal with the burns and retire for the evening. No guards, nothing stopping you and your sister from sneaking out.
We will do such. Mischief afoot.
Work, you begin making your way down the path. You make your way through the forest, seeing the same mushrooms, and then soon enough it's not just you. Other peasants, other craftsmen, other people follow you around, following the same path as you. You make conversation, you walk through, and it turns out you're all going to the same event, which is really nice. It's nice to know that you aren't just being led somewhere to get shanked by yourself.
Yeah, good to know.
Yeah. Jericho, your entire trek, not a single person interrupts you. You are truly alone with your thoughts, not being chased, not being hunted, just gentle cawing of the birds overhead, the leaves cracking under your feet as you approach a glowing light in the distance. Alright, I'm gonna put you guys on a flavor text page, so it's just an image. So you all see in the distance, let me know if you see it.
Yep.
A beautiful little circus. Let me change the music playing on stream right now, or on the recording right now. It's gonna be weird to say that. And I'll go ahead and put it in. I'll go ahead and put it in the character chat if you guys would like to see it, or listen to it. As you arrive, you guys are greeted with these tall and colorful characters, jugglers on stilts, small little like gremlin-looking creatures in hoods handing out flyers and giving out snacks, and a pile of people lined up at the ticket vendor to walk into the circus, which isn't even just a small tent, it's a massive field that's been fenced off.
You can see flames and fireworks, confetti and cheers popping in the air. And surrounding your vicinity is a set of trees, like a forest. Wherever you were before feels vastly different. Especially you, Kalad, you were just in a park, like a very deep meadow park in the Earth Ganassi section. Now you're somewhere very clearly too large to be in the Citadel.
Yeah, I'm looking up for the tall buildings and not seeing nothing but trees, and I'm very confused.
You guys are sort of like kind of ushered by the other people also excitedly lining up as you guys line up into line at the very back. Leading us off with Jericho, you immediately turn to your left and you're greeted by these colorful characters. You see a very buff, scarred up green man with another pair of knife ears. You see a very blue, soppingly wet lady. I'm not. That's gonna be the running gag.
Oh my god.
That's gonna be
Refer
the,
to Callan without making a sopping wet joke. Challenge level
this
impossible.
is my
Moist.
ma.
Impossible.
You know, every DM's got the fucking ma. This is my ma now. I'm sorry, Lily. Behind the blue lady, you see a set of sisters. Despite the fact that they're basically two different color palettes, as you all line up, the line barely budges. Any immediate reactions? Takes?
Jericho is trying so hard to not freak out.
I didn't realize that Citadel foreign people inside the Citadel like this, but
Orders.
This is so cool. Oh my gosh. Have you guys seen anything like this before?
How much longer are we supposed to stand here before we just simply walk to the front?
Sister, relax. If we do that, they'll know who we are. Okay? I don't want to cause a commotion. I just want to have some more of that cotton candy.
I know, but we have a limited time frame.
Oh, we'll be fine. The diviner did say we'd make it back no matter what, and she's been right so far. I think it's worth putting some weight in her cards.
excuse me, have all of you been given permission to be on the Citadel?
Excuse me?
Mission?
The Citadel of the Astral Sea, the Master Jinn. That is where we are.
No, we're in the middle of Avalon at one of the circuses.
I don't know anything about an Avalon.
Taldor is actually pretty common in their circus group, so...
Taldore?
Yeah?
Is... Sorry, you go.
No, that's where we are, right? Last time I checked the map, we were still there.
Now, I've never been in a campaign to Taldore myself, but I do know of the plane's existence. And I can assure you that we are not in Taldore.
Planes? How ridiculous. I'm sure that you all are just from some other land, perhaps the Eastern Marches, and are trying to play a trick on us in more sophisticated ways.
You, old man, where are you from?
Oh, old.
Gesturing to Jericho, just to be clear.
Yeah, no, I am aware, thank you. It's just, I don't, what do you,
Well, I mean, you look like you're about 90 years old, so you must have a better idea of at least where we are.
I hope that the good Lord sees me to 90 years old, but, I don't think, and he's touching like his like chest, like making sure he's corporeal, you know, like he thinks he's tripping balls right now. Like something was in that tea that lady gave him. I'm sorry. Does everyone look? Aren't there any? Y'all aren't. human are you?
Excuse me? Have you never seen anyone outside of humanity? That's an incredibly offensive thing to say.
No, hold on now. It's okay. You just seem a little confused. Are you sure you're in the right spot? Did you wander here by yourself?
Well, yes, but y'all were talking about cards. Like witchcraft, tarot, cards.
Did you have a run-in with a young child as well that read your fortune?
Well, I did with a child, yes, who read my fortune. No, I did have an encounter with a fortune teller.
Jericho was a young woman for you.
Yes,
5'7".
but he dealt with the child before that.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Yeah.
And no child for me, but I did have my fortune told by a nice little old lady, actually.
How bizarre. There seems to be a rife case of would-be divinationists traveling around handing out cards to everyone they see. We happen to speak to a tall woman, not old and definitely not a child, but it seems perhaps they're in the same kind of cabal as each other.
Morgan nods along, sipping water.
Not sure what playing cards have to do with any of this, but we're all here for the same reason, right? To go see the festivities? We should make the most of it. I mean, I smell really good food, and I don't know about you guys, but I am getting really hungry.
At that note, as one of you is taking the moment to look at the rest of the line that is not moved, but thankfully, what seems to be employees of the circus, because they're dressed in very garish fashion, is going around checking everyone's tickets. And a simple man wearing a turban and having a very pencil-drawn mustache approaches you all. Pure human, just tannish skin. Says, "Hello, my friends! Are you here for the circus? The Vistani circus?"
I suppose that we are.
Right, well, do you have your ticket?
Would this flyer suffice?
No, that is a flyer. Does anyone of you have a ticket?
Hey, we were given these. I don't know. Do you guys have one?
Are you holding up the card? Yulia, you kind of like got really soft at the end there.
Yeah. He pulled out the card to be like, just kind of trying to rummage through his stuff.
That is a fancy card, but no. Okay. Listen.
None of us know what a ticket is.
All right. Have any of you been to a Vistani celebration before?
What is a Vistani?
Right.
I'll go the same.
Okay, so some of you can choose to know this, some of you cannot. Vistani are, because I can put it in lore, you guys can know this. The Vistani are a culture of people. There's no one race, no one ethnicity. It is a people that follow the belief of spreading joy and cheer and traveling to receive said joy and cheer back. Think buskers, think traveling bards, think groups of performers and caravans of do-gooders. They go around partying and spreading joy and cheer. They vary quite differently from plane to plane. So your world may have your own version of it. Callan Citadel could have been visited by a small fleet of circus performers. That's up in the air.
She certainly wouldn't have gone to them.
Well, I never.
Yeah.
He's allergic to fun.
True.
So, a Vistani circus is, well, a circus run by the Vistani. You may be seeing weird things you're not used to. You may be seeing people and hearing things that make no sense, but don't think about it. This is a time for fun. Okay? You come in, you have a good time, you go home. This can all be a dream the next day, or maybe you could make a connection that lasts. I used to be from a small little place called the Sword Coast. I don't know if any of you heard of it. Have you?
Yeah. Yeah. I know the Sword Coast.
Yeah, perfect. I'm from there, and then I came to one of these circuses, and I fell in love. That's actually my darling wife, and he points to a beautiful purple-colored tiefling woman running the ticket stand, larger than life, happily hole-punching tickets and letting people in. Love of my life. Several kids, all running around the circus being idiots. If you guys fall in love with it, you can stay if you want, but yeah, don't think too hard about these things. You'll be back home at the end of it, okay?
Well, that's all well and good, but do we still need tickets? Or-
Right. Okay, tell you what, there is one deal that we have that never really gets taken, and it is for a family of 5. And I count 5 people. Now, can you guys be a lovely little barrel of monkeys and be okay with sharing a ticket together?
She kind of looks over at Morgan and looks at everyone else, especially this incredibly stuck-up Callan.
Morgan's excited.
This seems like it would be quite an eclectic family.
Oh, please, Ravenna, please, sis. I mean, they don't know who we are. They're basically family if you think about it, right?
That's not how that works, but you are at least correct. They don't know who we are, so I guess we have nothing to lose.
One night of just relaxing and eating and spending time with people that'll care about us, and then, like, you know, not pressure us about things at home.
She will look over at Jericho and goes, yes, it seems that they have plenty of other things to be struggling with right now rather than pressuring us.
Oh, man. Jericho's gonna get ragged all night. God damn. Alright.
He's just a confused old man.
Okay, so I am just going to write down your names onto this ticket, and as long as you're all together, no matter who stops you, can show it and you're all fine. Can I have your names, please?
I'm Warwick.
Warwick. Okay.
Callan.
Ravenna.
By all means.
Not often I get 2 people going off at the same time. Morgan said
No,
her...
after you. You seem to be very official on leave from your service, I presume.
Not exactly leave, but here we are nonetheless.
Callan, Ravenna, and Morgan. Morgan heavily emphasizes that Ravenna and her name be on the same line of the sheet. And finally, you, I feel like if I describe you in any way, I'll be mean, so, your name, sir.
Jericho.
Jericho. Now, you look like the most lost fish out of water, but like I said, don't think about it, sir. Just have a good time and relax, okay? And,
Right.
he'll hand the ticket to Warwick. You look like you'll probably pick the most fun activities and won't be a stick in the mud. Can you keep an eye on this for me?
With my life.
Hopefully you won't have to come to that. Now, you all take care, and a whole bunch of tickets. You can walk right on and past the line. Enjoy the evening, folks.
Okay. Well,
I-
I guess we'll all be hanging out with each other then.
I guess it's good to meet you all. We've clearly been indirectly introduced by each of us saying our names in turn.
Would a reintroduction help then?
I could
They
only
might.
imagine how little the aura of confusion will be dispelled by each of us talking more in front of each other.
You're right. So, nope. That means less talking, more food. And I will get us up to the front of the line then.
Morgan pipes up. Finally, this is exactly what we're here for. Come on, come on. And
Ruven.
And
No, you go, Yuli. Sorry.
oh no, Work is just going to kind of weave, or he's gonna look at the crowd in front of him and kind of hold up his ticket and be like, "Ooh, Joshua, I got your ticket for you. Come on, guys, let's just keep walking forward." And he's just gonna call out to someone named Joshua and be like, "Your ticket's over here. Excuse me, I have to give this to Joshua. Joshua, your ticket."
What are you doing?
Getting us up to the front of the line.
We were given permission.
he did say you could just walk right in with the ticket.
Well, they know. The rest of the people don't know that.
Well, what does their opinion matter? We were given permission.
You don't want them to look at you all mean and stuff, though. We're gonna give you some nasty looks.
Matt,
Warwick has permission, but still doesn't want to look like he's cutting the line.
Oh man, what a soft, good boy.
I assure you, none of the nasty looks that these people would be giving us are anything even remotely worrisome.
Well, regardless, we don't want to start it off with the bad impressions, so let's make the most of it then, like we were told. So, any place you guys want to start off first?
The cotton candy, please.
Yeah, food sounds really nice. I'm just gonna be voicing as Morgan, unless I say otherwise.
What about you two? Anything strike your fancy? Something you want to eat?
I can't speak for him, but I don't know what exactly kind of food is there even at this place.
You just kind of follow your nose to something, especially if it does smell good. That's
You are a
the
little. You are quite the little sunspot, aren't you? She kind of trails off a little bit. Quite the sunspot, aren't you?
Thank you. I'll take that as a compliment.
I'm not particularly hungry, but should my appetite be roused, I'll let you know.
Cutting our noses then, which means cotton candy first for the ladies.
Yes, for the ladies. And that's all we are, just two ladies.
Just everyday circus goers.
Hey, yeah, you definitely look the part.
So, Warwick, as you were given the ticket, you are the leader for the circus, and you've chosen food. You guys have all chosen food. Warwick's nose is really good at smelling good food, goddamn! Alright, you guys follow Warwick, easily weaving your way through the crowds, past all the flashy distractions, the games, the entertainers, little marching bands, the small little gross dudes, and you make it to a communal eating area. There are benches and tables everywhere, food stands, and people just walking around carrying carts of food, little like baskets of food. There's cotton candy, there's funnel cake, corn on the cob, and do any of you have a particular sweet tooth besides Ravenna and Morgan? I'm assuming those two like sweets because of cotton candy.
No, Jericho doesn't go for sweets.
Damn, I was really hoping it'd be the meme with like old man drinking ice. All right.
I imagine Callan actually probably does, but just chooses not to indulge most of the time.
All right, Callan.
Particularly a strawberry shortcake.
Oh, cute.
That is very cute.
All right, well then you just gave me some extra flavor to really tempt you with. There is a rather large stall with a very not even large, just a crowd of people, and you guys see walking out of the crowd people holding their food, a bucket of freshly baked cookies. like you could count like 50 or 60 of them in that bucket, come in different
Amazing.
flavors. Some are like red velvet, some are like covered in this strawberry frosting. Just solid buckets of cookies. Now, for us, those of us here without a sweet taste to their to the sweet tooth, I don't know why I said sweet taste. You got your turkey on a leg. You've got turkey on a leg. You got your turkey legs.
Bone on the
Pushes
meat.
hard, I know.
You've got your other meat dishes. You got your hot dogs. You got hot dog on a stick. You got surprisingly steak on a stick. It's really weird to see like a really beautiful looking marbled T-bone just on a stick.
Like the Minnesota State Fair, anything on a stick and deep fried.
You see the adults just like chugging different kinds of booze. Like you see like the regular steins of ale, regular cups of globuts of wine, and you see strangely enough these like porcelain jugs with like rimmed edges and these strange characters written on them being warmed and poured out into small cups. That's for the lack of my flavor text, is warm sake. There was one other like meat thing I wanted to say, but it's not coming to my head right now. So yeah.
I can
It's
just
practically
envision both Warwick and Jericho double fisting turkey legs.
He's like already drooling a little bit. It's coming off the side of his mouth. He's like looking at everything.
There's a good table where you guys could grab a seat. Maybe one of you could watch it. Everyone else gets food. Take turns.
Callan will watch it.
Morgan promises to bring you back nothing but sweets. So you may have doomed yourself to a few extra cavities.
To me?
Yeah,
Just to be
you.
clear.
To you.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. So just as a bit of extra flavor, while you guys go to get your sweets, Callan probably is still just like playing with the hilt in her hand, but is currently looking at the gems that are both inscribed into it, and just seeing that they are still lit up, kind of raising an eyebrow, but just overall just sitting there and thinking quietly.
Your magic hasn't left you, but it's different. Like, for comparison's sake, you're like a cop who still has their gun, but your walkie-talkie isn't connecting.
I really didn't intend to give off such cop vibes, guys.
You're good, you're good.
You did this to yourself. You were mean to a child.
Yeah, we got our space ACAB over here.
She's not a cop. She's a helldiver.
No, that's so much better.
A helldiver would shoot a child. I'm gonna defend the leader. A helldiver would shoot a child.
Continue.
Yeah, anyways, yeah. Let us see if you can reconvene with your food, and if there's like any other circus or carny food that you can think of that I'm missing from my lack of carnival universal experience, by all means. Oh wait, I just remembered the meat thing. Warwick, you look out of the corner
The
of your
meat
eye.
thing, Warwick. Got it.
Yeah, alright, come
That
on, big
slab
boy.
of meat.
We made a joke about pegging, we're talking about meat. You look, and you see,
I see.
a comically large amount of meat wrapped around a bone. Full on, like, dinosaur cartoon
Cartoonish.
style. Yeah, cartoonish. Meat on the bone is real, and you can gladly. It's a lot of fucking meat.
Oh gosh, yeah. He's coming back to that table with just an obscene amount of stuff. But definitely not before he kind of like trails behind a few of them just to kind of check on them. At one point, he'll go behind Jericho, already with so much food, and kind of peek over his shoulder a bit, like, "You getting anything?"
Am I to believe that that's all for yourself?
Oh, this? Of course not. It definitely, me eat all of this? That's crazy.
You are a man of a hearty appetite, I see.
Well, I mean, you see so many good things in front of you, you just want to take all of it, right?
It is overwhelming. I might have to get me one of those legs, though.
Well, you don't have to go out there if you're a little shy. You can take mine. And he'll reach out and hand him the turkey leg.
Hey, yo.
Thank you. I'm sorry, what was your name again?
I'm Work. It's nice to meet you officially. I'm sorry, I think it was Jericho.
Jericho.
Was it?
Jericho.
Right. Well, it's nice to meet a fellow turkey leg enthusiast.
Meat is kind of a luxury. It feels a little odd to indulge, but we might as well enjoy ourselves.
Oh, you're saying you don't have a lot of it where you're from?
No, not usually. It's tricky keeping livestock alive.
Oh gosh, I'm sorry to hear that. His eyes, you can see it's getting a little teary at the edge of it.
Oh, I don't mean to
No.
upset you.
No, it's fine. You can have this. And he starts just handing him the giant dino meat. Like, please,
No,
it's okay. I'll get another one.
No, it's I'm
No, really, it's
There is
fine.
no-
It's fine.
possible way for me to eat all of this. We can share it.
You can save it for later. We can make like a turkey or something out of it.
Get a little to-go box.
What? There are boxes. You guys
Oh
can
my
back-
god. It's
It's okay.
work. It's fine. I appreciate your concern, but I've made it this long without copious quantities of red meat, and I will continue to do so. But tonight I would be happy to share this with you.
Well, I'd be happy to share it with you too. I mean, it's a celebration. It's a festival. Let's enjoy it. But I'll get some drinks and I'll see about the other two ladies, and we'll meet up at the table and eat together as a family. Sounds kind of weird saying it, but it sounds nice.
Jericho smiles very awkwardly at that and just says, "Right. I'll see you back at the table then."
All right, see ya. And he'll just run off, kind of wiping his face.
Jericho arrives back at the table with just so much meat.
Where did you get that?
That young fella Warwick.
He just had those on hand. Does look delicious, doesn't it?
It really does.
Hold on, I'm gonna go find him. I want one.
I think at this point Jericho is gonna be like unable to hold back anymore. It looks and smells so good. He's just gonna tuck into one of those turkey legs. Like the man's been starving.
For the first time in like forever, you can find like you've never had a piece of meat this juicy before. Chewing right into the meat and the sinew. Of the
So
pieces
good.
underneath. Ah.
Can't even taste the radiation.
Oh god. Zero rads here. Zero rads. We are in the safety of a vault right now, Ops. I want to quote Maximus so bad after saying that. Fuck Ops.
Venya and Morgan are gonna come back just and like giggling as they're like feeding each other various sweets that they've collected over different trays, and kind of laughing at the when you take the bite of the cotton candy, just how it starts immediately melting and disappearing.
Morgan's actually picked up a very interesting candy for you two to share called Dragon's Floss, and it sort of like does the same thing as cotton candy, but has more weight to it, so it just feels weird, and you're both like laughing at how it tingles in your teeth. Thanks for indulging me, sis.
Of course. You know I would do anything for you.
And you know I'd do anything for you too. I'm sorry for getting teary-eyed earlier today. It's just, after what she said, that fortune teller, I got thinking about stuff that's not gonna happen for a very long time, so... Let's just focus on the here and now, okay?
She's gonna lean in and do a forehead touch as just kind of like, let's just focus on the now.
Yeah. Speaking of the now, what the fuck did they bring back to our table as she points at the comically large tower of meat?
I would presume there's probably a man behind that meat somewhere.
There is a man going to town on that meat. Did you see him scarfing it down?
Hey, yo.
That slip was so
Shut the fuck up. Word hard for me.
I see you're quite hungry, Mr. Jericho.
He'll straighten back up, wipe his mouth, and just... sorry, just Jericho is fine, but... Damn, this is really good, though.
Fenya will just kind of chuckle and go, well, I'm glad to see you feel more in your element now.
Yeah, this sort of fits your style more. She points at your smile behind the layers of beard hair covered in meat and bone.
Oh no, ew.
Jericho would absolutely have like the flavor saver beard, you know, with the fucking bits of food everywhere.
You're not wrong.
There are napkins at the table and stuff. It's all right. It's a temporary stain. So you dig it.
Work is eventually going to come back to the table with some extra tankers of water and a few ale as well. With the meat like literally tucked under his arm because he didn't have enough space.
God damn.
You must be quite strong.
I like to also imagine Callan is coming back awkwardly behind him with a similarly comically large thing of meat.
No sweets, no cookies, no shortcakes.
No. Just the meat.
Well, the way you're eyeing your plates, I mean, if you don't want any, Morgan quickly sneaks in a biscuit right in front of you.
The meat is plenty. Thank you very much.
We're a
Not
family.
often we get to have something like this.
Well, tonight we're a family, so we should try to share. So if you want any, just ask. Speaking of sharing, and she reaches into her pocket, one of those small little gremlin freaks gave me this, and she unrolls a map of the circus on the table and begins pointing at different attractions as you all sort of plan out the rest of your little evening. I'm gonna say we'll end it there for now, as it is 10:01. That sound good with you guys?
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
All right then. Is there anything you'd like to say to our audience at home before I cut to the ending slide?
Thank you for listening.
Yeah.
Watching.
Listening, watching, drawing to, lo-fi beatsing to, whatever. Thank you for watching. And our sessions are every other week, so uploads may be a little pedantic, but yeah. Hope to see you next episode, and the one after that, and the one where two of the party members make out, and the one where they meet Strahd, and yeah.
That
This is Curse of Strahd, by the way.
This is that
by
Curse
the
of
way,
Strahd.
this is
If you-
Curse of Strahd, yeah.
If you can tell from the fun atmosphere and the big words that say Curse of Strahd above me, hopefully next time I'll have an actual reactive too, that isn't just car. Alright, any important information will be in the description. Please follow these amazing players. They make content that's like really good.
like art and games and talking over games and just being amazing and beautiful and great people. And yeah, I'll see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.